What is up, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of our Kings related podcast, wherever you may be, and another post game recap as the Kings prioritize the youth movement on their way to the 5th straight loss after losing to the Los Angeles Clippers on this Friday evening. But first, thank you as always for joining me for another edition of the show. If you enjoy this podcast, make sure you give us a follow over on Apple Podcasts or whatever your preferred audio platform is. And if you're watching on YouTube, please hit that subscribe button, hit the thumbs up, leave a comment down below. That will be much appreciated as well. The Kings' losing streak has hit 11 games following tonight's 3-point loss, 114-111 to the Clippers, a game that featured another late effort run from the Kings' young core. And although Sacramento led for all but 21 minutes of game time versus the Clippers 10 minutes, Los Angeles, they did just enough in this game to hold off a valiant effort final push from a closing lineup of this Kings team that included 5 players who suited up for them way back this past summer in the Vegas Summer League. Absolutely incredible. The Kings now 12-41, and at this point, I don't care about wins and losses. These are games that you can stomach a little more because you're seeing the young guys playing well, getting real-time experience on the basketball floor tonight and learning on the fly. And this was another fun game with the young core. And yes, it's 11 straight losses for the first time since March and April of 1998. And now the Kings are just 2 losses away from tying the longest losing streak in the Sacramento era. That was 13 losses back in 1999. But it's all about the development of this young core for Sacramento as you look towards the off season and next season. And as the streak goes on, and despite the spirited effort, I really enjoyed this game. It was fun, and we haven't said that a lot this season about watching Kings basketball. Like, if you look at this game, Dylan Cardwell took more shots tonight than DeMar DeRozan and Zach LaVine combined in this game. And we'll get more on Dylan Cardwell because he had another fantastic game for the Kings. And Westbrook, 20 minutes. DeRozan, 20 minutes. LaVine, 18 minutes. That is what you love to see right now with this team. Less of the vets, more of the young players from now until the end of this season. That's what we want to see. Dylan Cardwell, 4-year deal, converted from a 2-way contract to a standard NBA deal, and he's earning his money. And it was a sizable pay bump yesterday that he earned, and tonight Dylan went to work. 14 points, 14 rebounds. This was his 7th 10-plus rebound game for Dylan Cardwell this season. After accomplishing that feat just 4 times in 5 seasons at the University of Auburn. And I'm gonna, they said it on the broadcast. Dylan Cardwell's gonna end up being a better NBA player than he was in college. From what we have seen so far from Dylan, I believe he's going to be a better NBA player than he was in college at Auburn. Just absolutely another phenomenal game from the young big man, undrafted out of Auburn. Incredible. Malik Monk, who just played 9 total minutes in tonight's first half, he caught fire, ran down 3 3-point shots in a span of a minute in that first quarter. He came out firing again after halftime in that third, hitting another 2 long threes in that second half. 18 points, 6 of 9 tonight from the 3-point line tonight for Malik Monk in this game. And the other rookies on display, Maxime Reynaud, Mad Max, and with Sabonis out tonight with back issues, soreness, Max Reynaud picked up another start in this game. And the rookie, he got downhill in the pick and roll in this game in the third quarter, and he finished 12 points on 6 of 8 shooting to go with 5 rebounds. Another solid outing from the rookie big man, the 4-year man from Stanford. Amazing. The rookies on display with Cardwell and Reynaud having quality games tonight, but they weren't the only ones for Sacramento, because Nick Clifford continued his strong play here as of late. 16 points, 5 of 12 shooting. He added 2 rebounds in this game, 2 assists, a block, and 2 steals for Clifford, the 24th overall pick in this past NBA draft. And he's adding to his game by each passing game. And if Nick can work on his shot this offseason to knock it down a little more consistently, he's going to be a good player for the Sacramento Kings and a building block to this foundation that Scott Perry is trying to lay for this team going forward. And it's not just the rookies. The second-year man, Devin Carter, you can bring him into the conversation with the rookies. He has struggled to earn court time this season, but he's going to see the court a lot from now until the end of the season. And the second season in the NBA with the Kings prioritizing this youth movement right now in full effect, going with the young guys. Devin Carter, he is absolutely going to get a shot right now. And tonight, DC, 14 points, 4 rebounds, 4 assists, and a steal in this game. The one thing about Devin is that shot. If he can fix that jumper, the Kings have themselves a player. But I want to see him fix that jumper, because I don't like it, because they do have themselves a player. We know what he can do on the defensive end of the floor. So if he can fix that, they do have themselves potentially a good role player as Scott Perry lays his foundation for what he wants this Kings team to be going forward. So, and talk about the new guy, DeAndre Hunter, newly acquired guy from Cleveland, got poked in the eye in the, I think it was towards the end of the third quarter. Stayed down on the floor, got helped back for a while on the floor, got helped back to the locker room, did not return, and it's a left eye injury. So we'll see if he can go tomorrow night against his former team when the Kings play tomorrow night against the Cleveland Cavaliers. But hey, this was a fun game, and the youth movement is on. And like, when you have your vets just play 20 minutes or less, that is a beautiful sight to see if you're a Kings fan, because that's what we want. Less of the vets on that floor, more time for the young guys in this game. Absolutely beautiful for the Sacramento Kings. And as we also, Sacramento, they entered this game holding opponents to 35% shooting from beyond the arc this season. That is 13th in the NBA. And I thought they did a good job containing LA's shooters in this game during the first two periods of the night. The Clippers, they went 2 for it from deep before halftime, and allowing Sacramento to survive a rough start from 3-point range, because neither team shot the ball well in the first quarter. A little bit of offense in the second, and then the third quarter, the Clippers 31 points in back-to-back quarters in the second and in the third. And it was Kawhi Leonard and John Collins who did most of the damage for this new look Clippers team after they traded James Harden to Cleveland. And hey, they got some good players in the trade deadline. They got Mathurin and Darius Garland. And like, if Garland's healthy, it's a really good player for the Clippers. And Mathurin can absolutely ball out. Another solid pickup for that Los Angeles Clippers team. So the Kings, and also before this game, earlier in the day, Scott Perry did speak to the media, like, for his post-trade deadline remarks, and he laid out his plans for what the remaining 30 to 29 games. And he did say that this team was going to take it was going to take time and use this season to evaluate the roster. And a quote that raised some eyebrows following what transpired on Wednesday night, as the Kings went with the young guys rather than the veterans. And it seemed as if tonight's game was a similar path, as Malik Monk sat for most of that second and third quarters after drilling all 3 of his attempts from 3. But Malik Monk, he had one more hot streak in him in the tank, and he came out. He helped Sacramento build a 19-6 run that erased a 10-point Clippers lead, and like one that saw the former Wildcat product knock down another 3 to give the Kings the lead as they entered the final 12 minutes of this game. So you might see a lot of Malik Monk with the young guys. Dylan Cardwell, absolutely a career night. But another fun game from this Kings team as they are entering that youth movement. And they are on, and with this loss, it really doesn't matter, but they are on pace to finish this season with 19 wins. to finish this season. So that will do it for this post-game recap of the Kings' loss to the Los Angeles Clippers. Sacramento back in action tomorrow night against Cleveland, and we will be right back here for another post-game recap following that game tomorrow night. And if you enjoyed this podcast and these recaps, make sure go over to Apple Podcasts or whatever your favorite podcasting app is and give us a follow. And we are a video podcast on Spotify and on YouTube, so by all means, please go catch the video feed as well and hit that subscribe button. That will be much appreciated. And thank you, as always, for joining me on the Kings Related podcast. We will see you tomorrow night following the Kings and the Cavaliers. And as always, go Kings.